Now to the controversy surrounding Nike's decision to use a transgender influencer to promote its female sport clothing range, including sports bras. Trans star Dylan Mulvaney is the latest face of the brand's female sports clothing, but Nike's decision has come in for plenty of criticism from all sorts of people. To shed some more light on this, I am now joined by Katie John Went, who's a diversity and inclusion facilitator. Thank you very much indeed. Happy Easter to you, Katie. Now, do you understand why there has been such uproar about this particular transgender person getting this brand deal?
I do understand it, yes, and there are kind of multiple angles on why people are upset with it. Some people are upset simply by the body type, the overall kind of thinness, and kind of not advertising a kind of a healthy body type, perhaps. Others are upset by that it's a trans person potentially taking kind of a woman's kind of opportunity to advertise in Nike. But it's not as if Nike don't advertise women as well. And obviously the biggest issue that has blown up is the fact that it is a transgender person advertising a woman's range of clothes. Yet, ironically for me, over the last few years, some of the things that have come out that even J.K. Rowling has said is, you know, let people wear what they want. The whole question is about spaces. And this is a person wearing what they want. And it's certainly kind of blowing up on social media. It's giving Nike both good advertising, bad advertising, but 100% it's working. It's getting their brand talked about. So it's a win-win for them in some respects.
But Katie, what it is for me that I don't like is the fact that this Dylan seems to be mocking, playing a woman. You know, the dancing around like a little girl, the over-the-top sort of impersonation of a young woman. I find it offensive. I really do find it offensive. If you're a transgender woman, it seems like Dylan is acting.
Well, I mean, they've had this kind of whole account that has blown up over in the US, particularly over TikTok and Instagram, their kind of whole everyday posting about their journey, their discovery of themselves the last year. And it's got them seen by presidents and everyone. So it's completely understand why kind of Nike are actually thinking, hey, this is a good opportunity for us to get on that bandwagon of publicity. They've got millions of followers. So it's clearly people are following them who like what Dylan is doing. It's not my cup of tea either. I'm a much more elderly person. It doesn't make me rush out like Nike sports equipment. I go as far as the Nike trainers, but I'm not going to be going fast running or anything anytime soon. But they're a musical performer. Their background is in performance. They performed and appeared in the Mormon show, you know, the Book of Mormon. So that is who they are. It is them by nature, performance and the rest of it.
But I find it offensive that it seems to me that this person is jumping on a bandwagon of being a transgender woman and trying to make money out of it. Because this complete over-the-top interpretation of what it means to be a female, I find, as a woman, very offensive. I really don't like it. I genuinely am horrified by the fact that we're holding up this person as a woman, as someone who is a woman, while Nike is a sports company. You know, why isn't it having, I don't know, someone like Sharon Davies being the pin-up there? I just can't understand why they would try and elevate this person who's pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, Nike already sponsor like half of the Lionesses, and they are great advocates for being a woman in sport. And that is probably the kind of person I will want to go and look at on Instagram if I wanted to find a great example of women who are active and fit and encouraging young girls and young women into sport and seeing role models. This is perhaps more a role model for some trans people. It's not my kind of role model. There are hundreds of ways to be trans. There are thousands of ways to be female. Yes, it is playing into stereotypes. But there are women who look that thin too, and that flat-chested. But that is not what it's trying to sell. It is just getting the brand out there, and that's what New Balance are doing. That's what Adidas are doing. Ironically, Sharon said, hey, we should dump Nike and switch to New Balance. But New Balance have done the same thing. All of these brands have taken on a whole selection of influencers. That's what's happening. And it's across the range of influences, male, female, trans, other or otherwise. They're all jumping on that particular bandwagon, and they all worked out that, there isn't bad news so long as you're getting seen and talked about. And for them, that still works. And inclusion for them can mean women and trans. It's not necessarily a trans person taking the place of a woman, but it's women and trans. But yeah, it's not a stereotype necessarily that I like. But Judith Butler said years ago that gender is a performance, and that person's performing.
That's the thing. It seems all to be a performance. I've looked at this person's content, and it makes a mockery of what it is to be a woman. So I can't get past that. I really can't get past that.
Stylized kind of everything from the 50s onwards. It's full of a whole range of depictions of femininity across the years. Their whole feed is filled with these different personas and depictions. And, that is not the same thing as necessarily advertising someone getting out there in night kit and actually doing sport. So, yes, it's a song and dance. As I said, it's not my cup of tea, but it's working for Nike.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they had Dylan, in the theatre or whatever, acting. But this is being an influencer as a woman. And from what I've seen of Dylan's content, she's playing a role. And that's what I have a problem with. But thank you very much. I do wonder if it will backfire or if, as you say, all publicity is good publicity. Anyway, We shall see. We shall see. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Katie, John went there talking about that controversial Nike sponsorship there. Now, GB News has reached out to Nike, but they are yet to respond. However, Nike did respond on Twitter after a number of customers said they would boycott the company over their recent promotion. The brand said, "We welcome comments that contribute to a positive and constructive discussion. Be kind, be inclusive, encourage each other. Hate speech, bullying, or other behaviours that are not in the spirit of a diverse and inclusive community will be deleted." Well, there you go. Nike telling us how to behave.